it. We have drones on either side of the map, though, so we're not going to start off with too much aggression. As in the top right, our Blue Zerg is Team Liquid's TLO.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I'm feeling worse and worse about my prediction awardee also. Thank you, Band. And in the bottom left-hand side, it is the Queen of Blades. It's Scarlett. Nice, very nice.
I always feel like whoever gets that intro is just powered up. Like, they just got to level 2. And the other players on level 1 still. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it, right?
Yeah, seriously. It's like, wow, okay. That's like foreshadowing. If life is playing the symphony, then that's foreshadowing for a Scarlet victory on this first map.
Oh, amazing. All right, well, we've got this game 1 kicking off. As you do see an Overlord from both players moving through the middle. It's very standard. Obviously, hatch, gas pool. TLO goes hatch, pool. So TLO plays a little bit safer. So Scarlett basically goes hatch, gas pool, puts her pool in a position where she could do that wall off that we just talked about in case of a 12 pool drone pull. But TLO, he goes hatch, pool, gas. So he doesn't put the pool out there. Instead, you can actually defend a 12 pool drone pull if you go hatch, pool. Because the difference of not taking the gas, as quickly, basically allows you to get the lings out that little bit faster. So yeah, a little bit of caution from TLO. Basically, they're both setting up in case their opponent does it in their own ways.
Absolutely. So yeah, that is one way to account for that. I mean, there's going to be a slight difference in the timing of the link speeds, but it's probably not going to play a huge part. TLO should be aware that his gas timing is a little bit later than normal, so he will have to be careful not to get caught with less links out on the map, in that brief timing window where Scarlett should have speed and he won't. But it's going to be very tight. So, yeah, I don't mind it either way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like maybe if you've got lings on the map and they're chasing each other, Scarlett wins that fight for like a couple of seconds, but shouldn't make much of a difference, right? Very minimal at the worst of times. So... yeah, we'll get up into a bit of a macro game on Everdream. Do you expect either of these players then to try and play mutas on this map with that rich Vespine, or do you think this just turn into Roach on Roach?
It's kind of difficult to defend that forward base. It looks like both players are going to be going for the normal third here. Just with Ling Rambais and whatnot, the forward base is so exposed that it would have to be taken as a fourth base to go to muta, I think, in this matchup. If anyone does that, it might be TLO, I imagine, but... maybe both. I don't know. I don't dislike Muta, but it's a short map at the same time, so roaches are powerful.
Yeah, that's the one thing I feel about this map when you play mutas as well, where you can just show up so quickly, and especially if you take that forward base with the rich Vespine gas, it's in the open, the roaches get a quick fight onto it. Then it becomes way more difficult than a map like, say, Eternal Empire, where you can take that rich Vespine with less threat of the roaches. So
wow, this is an interesting decision by TLO. He pulled only 2 circlings, I think, to defend and goes for the queen with the rest of them. This is a very difficult decision. He needs this queen because otherwise his hatchery is in trouble and taking a lot of damage. He will get it, it looks like. What a great call.
Scarlett actually ran past with so many lings, though, so I feel like she could have maybe defended that. It does mean her lings continue across very quickly, so maybe that third hatch still in trouble. TLO didn't morph Banes yet, but Scarlett's first 2 Banes will be cancelled. Now TLO morphing Banes as Scarlett's extra lings show up, but I don't think she has enough, and that's really bad for Scarlett because she is down 6 workers.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, I am so impressed by the decision-making of TLO there. I mean, Scarlett banking on that her queen is safe on the back of her lings attacking the third of TLO, right? So... beautiful decision making. Now it's TLO on the other side of the map. Nice, peeling off just the 2 circlings to make it annoying to that drone.
This is great. Look at this. He's gonna get another queen kill. So then Scarlett's missing injects, and that really hurts in the follow-up to this. I mean, Scarlett already backed away, was trying to drone up. She does get a cleanup, but a few drones down, losing the queen, missing the inject. Those are the sort of things, as that was cute, trying to morph the Bane to soak up a couple Bane shots, but he realized it wasn't going to work and canceled.
Yeah, the Banes were already past that Baneling, and Scarlett was already being very careful not to detonate the Banelings at her natural, so she was, of course, going to follow through here. I think TLO is doing pretty well, though.
Yeah, I like where he's getting himself. He's going for an all-in now, just building those roaches and getting ready to come across the map. So he's going to be able to all-in, and Scarlett needs to recognize this and, well, set up a defense. But she's making more drones. She's starting a roach roaring. This is not good for Scarlett.
It does not look good. The Roach Warren is going to be pretty late. TLO has been unspotted until now. And Scarlett, like you said, I mean, she was making drones. And now she's starting some banelings, some circlings, whatever she can. But this is going to be incredibly difficult for her to stop. Wow, what an attack by TLO. I am excited. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think this is one of those scenarios where Scarlett's in a lot of trouble, especially because TLO has banelings of his own, so he can use those to get rid of the one real threat that Scarlett has, which would be her own banelings. All those banes are stacked up. They're really not doing much roaches. Just getting rid of the banes, and TLO has so many banes remaining. Gonna roll them forward. He's gonna cancel a lot of building banelings. There's a couple left on the way from Scarlett. TLO just needs a little bit more here right now, and his extra roaches are just about showing up.
Yeah, I think those banelings should be kept with the roaches as they fight. Now he's a little bit exposed, right? Like running a few of those banelings even into the queens. But Scarlett making a similar mistake. Attack moving for a second. A lot of those banelings suicide onto a cocoon.
Yeah, now TLO starts a Ravager, saves the roach, actually cancels it and backs away a little bit. Scarlett's supply blocked here at the moment, can't make anything else, as she finally has her own roaches up. Honestly, TLO's taking a worker lead behind us, so I think he's already okay, as long as he trades out okay with the rest of this army, which he should be able to. Then he's in a fine position to build up more units behind this, and Scarlett will be in trouble, trailing by, she's going to be trailing, what, like 14 workers in a few moments' time?
TLO can morph Ravagers to Micro. I think attempted there at the last second, but the situation does not improve for him. I think that would have been really good, given that most of the army of Scarlett was Zerglings. Still, not a terrible trade.
No, it really isn't a terrible trade. You got to trade out the last few roaches. That's all TLO needs, right? Something of an even trade so that he doesn't get overwhelmed as Scarlett comes across the map on a counter, because he's already so far ahead in workers. His less faster. Love this position for TLO.
Just absolutely brilliant. I think he had the room where he could have leaned in on the attack, and more often than not, I think he's able to close out that game. But he plays it the safe route, and consistent with that route, ends up trading and stays up to trade with the army of Scarlett, exactly for the reason that you're mentioning. He is under no threat now, and with a much greater economy.
Roaches of TLO. A couple of them still out on the map here, getting a little bit ahead of everything else. I don't even mind if actually I can't do mind him being out here. It doesn't really make any sense at all, right? Trying to take advantage of a position where actually he's just set up to sit back. He doesn't need to be this aggressive. He's only making his own life tougher as he finally gets roach speed started. His +1 will be a bit behind. I mean, he'll apply a bit further pressure here. It does keep Scarlett on building units instead of droning those, so that's a benefit. It just would have been bad if he'd lost all of those roaches, which he didn't.
Yeah, it was very dangerous in the way that he did it. I think if it would have been fine if he just clumped up all his units and then moved out, right? So he wanted to show the trickle. It looks scarier on the map when you see a trickle of units, like a line of units headed towards you. And I mean, it tricked Scarlett. She has now resumed droning, but she recognizes, she just had to make more units than maybe she thought possible. So I think it all ends up working for TLO. But I'm with you, Wordy. That was a dangerous maneuver.
Well, Scarlett's going to follow up with the Spire now, which definitely not a bad choice when you're behind the ZVC. The mutas are oftentimes one of the best ways to get back in. But when TLO's already building Hydras and your Spire's not even done, or maybe the Spire's not going to be the greatest of choices in the end. But that's just TLO being that far ahead. That's the position he's gotten himself into here.
Yeah, it really comes down to where the Hydras are on the map. TLO has a nice line of Overlord, so I think we could see a creep highway entering play here and maybe going for a Hydra timing attack. If that is the case, I think that TLO could close out this game sooner rather than later. However, if the Muta are out and the Hydras are not out on the map, things could get complicated for the German.
Yeah. You can see Scarlett's already building Baneling speed, so she might just not really commit through to many mutas, and she might just go for like that kind of roach bane timing so she can bust through the Hydras, or I don't know. It's really tough to see what she can do here. She's going to start 3 mutas. She'll probably go for about 7 to 8, maybe 9 in total, but it's really rough. You're not in a position as Scarlett to really do much with those mutas. Yeah, I guess just going to try and bait out a lot of Hydras and then try and crash those Banes in, clean those out and win the roach fight after, but it's just so tough after TLO's been mining that much more for multiple minutes of the game.
Yeah, TLO now identifying that there might be a threat like that out on the map, and this is a great move out. This is what he wants. He has a huge army lead, and it's actually the mutas might be enough in number to clear out this very few Hydras, but it's gonna take him. It's gonna tax them, and then he may not, or Scarlett may not have enough leftovers to deal with the roaches. But TLO's pulling back. I don't like this, Wordy.
Yeah, I feel like TLO could have gone for it, but maybe a little bit worried with mutas coming up. I feel like, honestly, the mutas could have got rid of the Hydras, yes, potentially, but then TLO just has so much anyway, he just overruns and does so much damage. He's going to play a very safe game by building the Infestation Pit and the Lurker Den. But I do feel like playing safe when you've got the potential to kill Scarlett is dangerous, because Scarlett is very good at finding her way back into these kind of games. So yeah, just TLO, I don't mind the move. I just feel like with the chance he had to kill with that much of an advantage, I would have loved to just see him end it there.
Same. Yeah, I mean, I think he could have just ended it there. And I am just particularly scared because, you know, like whenever I play against Scarlett, she's the type of player that can come back in this type of situation, especially if you give her map control, if you give her mutalisks. Like she was so well known. She became well known, I think, on the back of her muta control, and partially on the back of her CVC muta control in particular. So it's, you know, it's scarier than it needs to be, I think.
Muta's moving around, going after an Overlord. A few changelings around the map being picked up. Again, Scarlett has that map control, right? And that's where it starts to become scary. And again, in theory, TLO is going to have Lurkers up. He's going to be in a really good spot there, but all it takes is your Lurkers out of position. Scarlett finds that one fight, and then maybe you fall apart from there. So yeah, let's see what Scarlett can do. She's coming across the map. She's bringing units around the right side. Looks like she wants to fight, but I don't think she really wants to fight into the Lurkers unless she's properly maxed out. She does morph 11 Ravagers, so she's going to go with that +2 missiles.
She sure is. And this is pretty all-in-y, but it is a strong all-in on the side of Scarlett. She has kind of managed to get in the position that she wants. At the same time, Lurkers are the best unit that you could possibly have for this Banelings, and Scarlett has to make something happen.
She really, really does. As a couple of Banes want to roll in there. They're actually going to start rolling, but the Lurkers get burrowed. And if the Banes connect on enough of the units, maybe she overwhelms. But then the Lurkers are really good at shutting down the Banelings. This TLO, not on Adaptive Talons yet. Obviously, his Hive only just recently finished. Scarlett gets the 4th phase of TLO. I mean, that's a nice start of this, but there's more to be done as these Banes intercepted. Great movement of TLO's army.
Yeah, I'm looking at Scarlett's production tab intently, and what she's doing now is dropping an Infestation Pit, so recognizing maybe that she will not be able to break the Lurkers if they are in a good position. However, TLO does not really have him in a good position right now. Scarlett could push and gain some ground if she can push that one Lurker back.
Yeah, able to get a couple of these Lurker kills already. And yeah, that hatchery's low. If TLO goes down to 2 bases, that's not good. Wow.
That's not good at all.
And look at Scarlett's bank as well, by the way. She's traded great. She's barely had to rebuild anything at all. Oh, big counterattack from TLO at least.
A little late, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved this if he was holding with Lurkers whilst going for this counterattack. I think that would have been amazing. But instead, he tried to save that 4th, a little bit greedy with those Lurkers, gets caught out of position, and now he's going to lose his entire army, or a lot of it on the counterattack. Did gain ground for the Lurkers, so he's going for it now. All right, let's go. He could maybe do it, Wordy.
Yeah, a couple of Lurkers burrowed up. The Hydras get to push back the Mutalisks, and obviously he has Adaptive Talons, right? So those Lurkers can re-burrow so quick. Seismic Spine's on the way too, jumps in on this. Does TLO have enough to just break through? I think he might. Scarlett, again, had so much in the bank, but she can't spend it all. She doesn't have the lava.
This is incredible. I expect the unexpected, but a nice concave by Scarlett. Another 2 Lurkers. Those are going to be difficult to deal with. The red ones just now were a nightmare for Scarlett. TLO pushing on 4th. Now Scarlett getting hold of the Lurkers. Not really. One corrosive pile will land, but that's still, I think, good trades for TLO. Oh no, a Lurker fall.
He's losing out. These last couple Lurkers are going down. Couple more finished. Scarlett is kind of finding a way to spend her bank as a few more injects pop off. And of course, TLO was all in on this. He didn't have the 3rd hatchery rebuild until just now, so he was very limited in what he was able to rebuild.
Oh no, and I mean, you have to see the game slipping through TLO's fingers right now. Yeah, I mean, it's been a game of unexpected turns here, that's for sure.
This is where we go.
It's looking hard.
This is where we go back to that point where TLO was up like 60, 70 supply, and he backed away, and that's why you can't be too cautious sometimes. That's why you've just got to believe when you've got an advantage, you can go. It's all well and good seeing like, oh, I'm ahead, let's get further ahead, but sometimes that, you've then got to execute from there, and that's obviously not been the case here, and it's put TLO in a rough spot, and right now you can see that these lurkers aren't going to do much on their own. It's just not the roach count from TLO. He's not mining from enough bases. Scarlett's income advantage is ridiculous, and that's just going to be more of these lurkers hunted down, and yeah, Scarlett will hunt down all of those. TLO will not have much else, and Scarlett takes the first game.
Wow. A little bit heartbreaking there. I mean, TLO kind of played a game where he was playing like he was Serral almost, right? Like where he's like, okay, I have the advantage, I have the control, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
But then Scarlett, I mean, she's so good at finding those openings. Scarlett is a championship level player for a reason. She will sneak back in a game if you give her the chance.
And she had like one opportunity, right? It was that attack, and if that attack doesn't work, TLO wins the game because he's setting up for a later game, but because he sets up for it, it gives Scarlett that opportunity. So she dove in at the right point. Like you said, at points the lurkers were a bit out of position, and obviously Scarlett just had enough power to really get on top of the third. And that was the real issue. The moment the third base dies, TLO loses so much economy, it's so difficult for him to keep rebuilding to stay in the game. He decides to all in across the map, and Scarlett wins a game where she was actually in a lot of trouble. So TLO maybe should have had that first map, maybe should have been looking to put your prediction to a bit of truth already, Cats, but didn't work out in the end. As we now go to Ice and Chrome for our second game. Large map, definitely a map where Mutas could be a big kind of feature once more, and also a very choky map if the lurkers want to come back into play.
Yeah, those are all great points, Wardy. I mean, difficult to know what to expect here. That game was pretty crazy. It had a lot of turns, and you have to appreciate that. I mean, TLO will often not take the decision that you expect, but a lot of his decisions are very, very strong, and that's how he manages to find the positions that he finds as well, right? So credit to him for putting himself in that position, and credit to Scarlett for capitalizing on what little room she was given to work with, because even if TLO just doesn't defend the fourth base, right, doesn't uproot the lurkers that he had, like something like 6 lurkers sitting back, and just says, okay, 3 bases fine, because you have Ravager Baneling, right? I think he probably holds easily. But instead it was 1 lurker, and it wasn't even forward enough to defend the hatchery from the vials. So yeah, that was a huge problem there.
All right, let's go into game number 2 and see if TLO can maybe get in good position once again and maybe this time play out of it into his favor. Ice and Chrome again, nice large map. Definitely gives Scarlett some room to play those mutas if he wants to. Definitely room for TLO to maybe play something a bit creative of his own. Let's find out as we jump into the second game. Scarlett leading 1-0 in this best of 3, looking to really cement her place in first of this group in the top right-hand side. It is our red Zerg that we start off with here. It is Scarlett.
And in the bottom left-hand side, going for a very early pull, Creativity Incarnate. It is TLO.
Rough
Okay.
first game.
Rough first game, that's for sure.
To the 12th pool.
Oof. All right, let's see what he can do with this. I mean, it's expect the unexpected. This is one of the largest maps in the map pool. And there are routes that you can avoid the Overlord Vision easily. So maybe this is a pool that can net TLO some heavy damage if Scarlett does not anticipate it. And again, difficult to anticipate on this map.
Do you reckon this is drone pull, or do you reckon there's maybe some potential for hatchery? Never mind, drone's on the way to build the hatchery.
Yeah, drone pool is too large of a map. I think that TLO is going to look for some damage with like 8 links, 10 links maybe, and then just gonna proceed to drone up because he's gonna rely on. I think if it was another map this large and the Overlord spots this links every time, it's a terrible thing. But
it's
look at
good
this.
map.
See?
It's a good map for dodging, right? And that's actually, I think, a laser 12 pool drone pulled on this map against Reno the other day.
Oh.
And so it was like, that's the only reason I was really saying it, because it's, if you don't see it and your opponent doesn't prepare, then obviously it's pretty rough, right? But yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's a large map. I don't mind the 12 pool, but definitely this form, hatchery behind it and expanding. And we don't get to see this so much anymore. Just this 12 pool without the drones.
Indeed. And you know what, Wardy? I think that players will probably have to switch their Overlord pathing for this map. That's not something that players have really had to do in CBC and like ever. But I think it might be a necessity to just like, you know, angle the first Overlord at an angle to correct the pathing to see the links coming from this type of attack. This is a really strong attack from TLO. Scarlett is not faring well with the drones. And I'm surprised she's committing as long as she did.
Yeah. You're not really meant to sit and fight with the drones if you don't have the lings there. The drones are meant to kind of push this back, and then, you know, the lings turn back on the hatchery, then the drones go back on once again. This is very surprising, but she doesn't lose anything else. She loses one more drone. It's so much mining time lost because it's taken her so long to clean it up, right? And that might be the reason this is worse than usual. I'd say sometimes like 4-ish workers is okay to lose, but yeah, losing like 5 and being off mining time for that long, huge for TLO.
Yeah, I think I like it. It wasn't a huge commitment for TLO either, who is just now taking his first gas, so he will fall behind in that regard. Scarlett is about to finish link speed, and she has the option for aggression. This is where TLO could fall for a trap himself if he sees links moving out with speed and he thinks he doesn't have enough to defend or something like that. He might choose to wall off too early, and when you wall off too early, you give up a lot of economy for it.
Okay, well, let's see, because Scarlett is waiting on a lot of lings. She's going to keep building them.
Yeah, so now you kind of want to wall off too early, and that's the balance that we were talking about. So let's see if TLO chooses to wall off at this point. The wall off would be to his benefit, I think.
Yeah, starting up those Evo teams, but it's kind of a wide location to wall off, right? 4 Evos, or kind of, you know, 3 Evos and the Queens, but then he doesn't get the final Evo down. The lings are in, and Cats, this is going to be major damage for Scarlett. She's got more lings on the way. There's still no wall off here. The Queens are going to fall. 7 drones dead and way more to go, right? I mean, if the Queens go down, a couple extra lings show up. TLO's still building his lings, and even then his lings are slow lings, so there's still room for Scarlett to run around and then make something else happen.
Yeah, good presence of mind from TLO, canceling the wall of the, you know, so that he could sneak out some more links. But this is a terrible position now for him. So really nice job capitalizing from Scarlett. But really, I mean, TLO, like you said, it's a difficult location to wall in, right? It's a wide ramp. It's a wide entrance. So kind of sucks. And he could have kind of had a pseudo wall off with 2 queens there, but he didn't want that because that can be broken too. So tries to go for the full wall off with a 4 Evos and just not able to. Now he's in way too much trouble, I think.
Yeah, at this point you're down 14 workers. You don't have link speed to counterattack with, so you're very limited in your options as TLO. Yeah, it's rough, man. There's no real way to get back in this game. You know, Scarlett takes the 3rd hatchery. You can't take yours because, hey, you know, you still don't have link speed. So yeah, this is horrible stuff for TLO. Obviously a risk from Scarlett. If TLO's prepared for it, these lings don't do anything. TLO would be on the worker lead, but yeah, it worked perfectly. And now Scarlett starts to run away with game number 2.
Yeah. Well, that's really unfortunate. It's looking very difficult to recover for TLO, but we'll see what he brings to the table. It's probably going to be some solution other than, you know, let's try to macro this out, I imagine, but it's so difficult.
Yep. No, it's really tough. Just to kind of agree with you, honestly, because I look at this and I'm kind of like, what are you meant to do? I mean, he's dropping a Bane Nest, a Roach Roaring, his link speed about to finish. He's got 2 Evos to help him wall. I mean, meanwhile, Scarlett's already starting +1 missiles. Hilaria's on the way. She's getting to road speed. She's up 20 drones already. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so what TLO is hoping for here, he's saving up money, is to make enough roaches and move out with Roach, Ling, Bane, and hope that Scarlett didn't go roaches and instead is just going Ling into Muta or something like that and hit a timing before the Muta are out. Unfortunately for him, Scarlett is going roaches. She has a 3rd. She will have more economy, more roaches. And I think as soon as TLO realizes that there's roaches out on the side of Scarlett, he might just pop out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. Like, I think he's going to try. TLO is the player to try until the very end. I feel like a lot of players see this and, okay.